Hello everybody, my name is NoHacksJustPing and welcome back to an episode of MCSG. Today we're playing the map of Valentine University. And actually today isn't really a normal episode of MCSG. Today is like gonna be my first CutCom. So I know most of my SGs are just oriented around one game and I just talk about whatever I think about. But what's gonna be different about this one is that I'm gonna focus on one topic and I'm gonna talk about it until I get it all done. Like I may have to go into different lobbies. And I do feel like this topic is kind of cliche and a lot of YouTubers do it for their CutComs. But yeah, whatever. Hopefully you guys don't mind. So as you can probably tell, I'm gonna be talking about my worst nightmare, and actually, it's one of my worst nightmares and also one of my weirdest nightmares as well. So it's actually happened a couple of days ago. I think on Wednesday, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. It's like a 3-team or what? But yeah, so this is the reason that I'm doing this. I'm only doing this topic for a CutCom because it was so recent and I don't know, it was so vivid. So the dream started out where I was at this summer camp that I was in or I think this summer actually. And I keep seeming to have dreams around this like setting. He's ghosting, she's ghosting, I don't know if it's a he or she. GG. So yeah, the dream started out in this like week-long, like a summer camp. And basically it was the last day of the summer camp, everyone was getting ready to go. And pretty much, I guess I was packed already, so I had some extra time, so I decided to take a nap. What do you need? Hey, could I get the Space Gray, please?
Space Gray? They don't have Space
If they have that, well then... Do they have the white with the silver on the back?
Oh, okay, we can get Space Gray. So Space Gray's your first choice?
Yes.
And Charlie's is gold, right?
Yeah.
Alright, Space Gray, thanks.
Alright, thank you.
Bye.
Bye. I guess we're getting new phones. So yeah, I woke up in the dream from taking my nap, and that's where the dream started. So I just remember being woken up by like one of the camp counselors or something like that. So I remember waking up to like this chaos in the... It was like an apartment building, kind of. And this all took place in, like, New York City area. I don't know. It was a really weird thing. So they woke me up, and everyone was, like, in chaos because they were, like... We were all planning on taking, like a bus home, kind of. Even though, like, it wouldn't have fit, most likely. Oh, no. We weren't planning on taking buses. Each counselor had, like... assigned a couple of kids that they were over, you know, and so my counselor woke me up, and every counselor had like a van that they would have to like drive home, and like the vans were like distinguished by like a logo of the camp or something on the side, so you could tell which vans were which. I mean, that were in our camp, you know. So I just remember waking up to everybody is just saying like talking about this elaborate scheme to try to get home in a sneaky way, because apparently I didn't know why, because everybody was saying that we needed to switch vans and stuff like that, so like people couldn't track us down or something like that. That's all I remember, and I was very confused at the fact like why we needed to do that. So that I like go downstairs and I'm like asking people around. I'm like, dude, what's like going on? Like, was something bad going on? So I talked to this one dude. He's like, oh yeah, there's this guy who's targeting people from our camp. Everyone that's going home. He has like a group of like 3 people, and they're all going around. I know it sounds weird, but like knifing everybody to death, like just slitting everybody's throats that was in the van, and like some people were, the 2 people were chasing like the vans and killing them that way, and the others were like infiltrating the like apartment area where we stayed for the camp. That was a fail. And so I'm like, oh crap, there's this guy going around killing people, and I see like people across the hall like screaming, and we're like in this basketball court, and so I'm just like crouching there hiding for my life, like in the corner kind of, and I see this shadow of the guy who's going around knifing like above me, and I'm just like praying there that he doesn't hear me or see me, and then he sees me and he jumps down, and he just like, I don't know, it was like slow motion, and he knifed me, even though it was a dream. And so that happened, and then it was almost like a video game. It's like, oh, game over, you have one more life or something like that. So it's like, oh, you get to try one more time to do this over. And so I'm like, okay, so I respawned in where I left off, where I got woken up, and I realized for some reason that time, my parents had maybe found out about, but my parents had somehow found out about what was going on, so they were actually coming to drive and pick me up. Like, they're one of the only parents that did that, because everyone else is just like, okay, they'll just get driven home. But apparently my parents wanted to drive me home that time, so everybody was like trying to round up the crew or whatever. My camp counselor was like ultra scared, like looking for me, going around like, oh, where is he, like we need to take him home in the van right now. And so I just dipped. I'm like, screw you guys can go home in your vans and get attacked by those guys who are targeting you guys. I'm going home with my parents. So I like meet up with my parents somewhere in their car, and like my whole family's there. It was weird, and we're trying to drive far off from that area. We're like, no, we're not having any of that. Ah, shiza. So we drive away to this huge like green field. It's like really rich with grass, and it's like kind of like a valley, and there's like orange flowers, like little small, not like roses, or I mean they don't make orange roses, but there was like these orange flowers. So we rented like a hotel next to that field because that's where we're like trying to hide out. And so my family's all there, and we're all trying to compose ourselves. And so I get to the hotel, and there waiting for me is like a gift, like this huge box that was like the size of like this, all the PC parts that came. Okay, when I ordered the parts for this PC, it came in like this like long rectangular box. I don't know, it was not what I was expecting, but that was what was pretty much in okay, that was what was in our hotel room, and it was like 2 Carson or something like that. And I'm like, sweet, there's this like a new PC that they gave me for going to that summer camp or something. So I start to open it up, and it is like computer parts. It was really weird. I was like so excited. Got him. Oh, not the Steve. And so I remember when I'm like opening the boxes and stuff, like I was so excited, but in that point my dad and my sister left to go to like a field, or to the field that was next to our hotel, you know. I feel like this person is hacking. And yeah, so my dad and my sister mysteriously just like take off to the field, and I remember at that point in my dream, like my perspective changed as I was like opening the presents or whatever. Gosh, freaking. Oh, what? He died? I have no idea how that happened, but I'll take it. So instead of me being like first person from my perspective, I start like free camming my brother, my sister and my dad. And so they start picking those orange flowers that I was talking about, and they start like sniffing them in, like they start like crushing them up so it's like orange liquid, and they start rubbing it all over their bodies because apparently that is like a camouflage against the people that were trying to stab us or something. Anyways, long story short, they all come back to the hotel. We're all in there. We're watching the news because it's all over the news, all these stabbings in the New York City area. And we're watching the news, and my dad all of a sudden orders like room service or something like that. Like, I think he was ordering like a sandwich or something. And so the hotel worker comes over to us and is like, you know, the tray that you use to serve room service. I don't know if you guys know what those look like. I mean, no, I was a little bit suspicious when my dad ordered the room service when there's all these shootings. Like, he's just like all casual about getting a sandwich. The worker like pulls off he pulls off the top of the lid of the room service platter thing. And to put it bluntly, pretty much there was a gun in there, and he like shot us all except for my dad and my sister. So I guess they had conspired against us. They went out to put that orange flower stuff all over them just as like an act or something, so that it wouldn't look suspicious or something, just for show, pretty much. And that was pretty much the dream. I remember talking to my family after that, like we were in heaven or whatever, and we all just felt so like hurt and betrayed, and we're all like, oh, how could he do this, man? Like our father or husband like betrayed us and like killed us and conspired with the Mr. Hotel Worker. And I guess the hotel worker was also like part of the band of the people that were going around killing the people from my summer camp. So it was all pretty traumatic. Like, I was like sitting in the corner, pretty much like the same, I never really thought about this, but like the same exact way that I was like curled up in a ball, like trying to defend myself while the other guy stabbed me in my first life. But it was a very similar death to like that. I was trying to like, you know, use my legs as protection. I don't know, I mean, bullets go through legs, but I was like helpless and stuff, you know. And the reason that dream was one of my, anyways, yeah, like I was saying, the reason that it was like the worst nightmare that I've ever had is how real it felt. Like I felt like so hopeless and like traumatized by the fact, like, I mean, that I died, obviously. I mean, and it was one of the most surreal dreams I've ever had. So I don't know, I thought I'd just share it with you guys. But if you do enjoy this style of video, this CutCom, make sure to leave a like and tell me down below, and tell me experiences of dreams that you have had. I'd love to hear them. And other than that, I'll see you all in the next one. Have a fabulous day. Peace.